sound off for Chesterfield. Chesterfield, the only cigarette in America to give you premium quality in both regular and king size, brings you Dragnet.
Ladies and gentlemen, the story you are about to hear is true. The names have been changed to protect the innocent. You're a detective sergeant. You're assigned to homicide detail. You get a call that the body of a man has been found in an alley. He has been strangled with his own necktie. The body has been robbed. There's no lead to the killer. Your job, find him. Thousands are changing to Chesterfield, both regular and king size, because Chesterfield is the first and only cigarette to give you premium quality in both sizes.
That means king-size Chesterfield contains tobaccos of better quality and higher price than any other king-size cigarette.
It's the same fine tobacco as in regular Chesterfield, and there's enough to give you more than a 1/5 longer smoke. Yes, more than a 1/5 longer smoke from king-size Chesterfield.
So remember, Chesterfield is the only cigarette to give you premium quality in both regular and king size.
Buy 'em either way you like 'em. Premium quality Chesterfield, and much milder.
Dragnet, the documented drama of an actual crime. For the next 30 minutes, in cooperation with the Los Angeles Police Department, you will travel step by step on the side of the law through an actual case transcribed from official police files. From beginning to end, from crime to punishment, Dragnet is the story of your police force in action.
It was Sunday, February 10th. It was cold in Los Angeles. We were working a day watch out of homicide. My partner's Frank Smith. The boss is Thad Brown, chief of detectives. My name's Friday. We'd gotten the call at 8:36 a.m., and it was 8:49 a.m. when we got to the corner of 18th and Winfield, the back alley.
Must be it there.
Yeah, there's Harper.
Sergeant, back here. Hi, Friday, son.
Harper?
Hi.
Where is he?
Back here.
Who found him?
This fellow gives his name as Alexander Jones.
Where's he now?
Al's got him out in the car. Figured you want to talk to him. Pretty bad off.
Yeah.
Must have had himself a real time last night. He's seeing things this morning. We picked him up just coming out of the alley. Stopped to talk to him. It looked like he was having a real rough time.
Jones, huh?
Yeah, probably not his real name. I've seen him around here before. There's the body.
Strangled.
Yeah, ambulance is here. Here's a slip. He was DOA.
Yeah. See how the tie's pulled up out of the shirt.
Looks like he was robbed. Pockets all turned inside out.
You want to call the crime lab, Frank?
Yeah.
Found a couple of footprints over here in the gutter. Heel indentation looks pretty good.
Yeah.
Put this box over them. I don't know if they'll mean anything. Thought I'd better keep them for you, though.
Mm-hmm. Looks like the body was dragged back here, doesn't it? Marks in the dirt.
Yeah.
How about the neighborhood, Harper? Anybody around here see anything?
Well, I don't know. There wasn't anybody on the streets when we picked up this Jones guy. Haven't had a chance to canvass the area. Didn't want to leave here, you know.
Yeah. Well, we better call the office head and send out a couple of men.
Call Lee. He'll be right out. Got him at home. He's sound asleep. Said he'd call the lab and have Alan bring the stuff out, and Lee'd come right here.
How about the coroner?
He's on his way.
Well, I want to call the office, Frank, and get some help checking the stores around, see if anybody heard anything.
I used the phone in the cigar store on the corner. Guy on there said he opened up about 7:15. Said he didn't know anything about it. Store's back door is right there. See the one with the cigar posters on it?
Yeah. All right, come on. I'll call in, and then we can check some of the other places, huh?
Right.
I'll wait here, Sergeant, until the rest of them come.
Fine, thanks, Harper. We'll be in the stores around the street side there.
Okay.
Let us know when Lee gets here, will you?
Yeah. What do you think, Joe?
Well, I don't know. The way he's dressed there, good clothes, looked like he had money. Doesn't figure, does it?
Yeah?
What was he doing down here? "9:12 a.m. I called the office, and 2 teams of men were sent out to help us canvass the area. Frank and I checked with the owner of a liquor store who was getting ready to open for business. He told us that he'd come in early that morning to clean up his store and that he'd taken a load of trash out into the alley at about 8:25 a.m., but at that time he hadn't seen the body. He went on to say, however, that it was possible that it might have been there, and he just didn't notice it. 9:26 a.m. Sergeant J. Allen and Lieutenant Lee Jones from the crime lab arrived and began collecting the physical evidence. The body and the surrounding area were photographed. Photographs were taken of the footprints that Officer Harper had found. They were compared with the shoes worn by the victim, but they didn't match. The coroner went through the dead man's pockets but found nothing. Everything had been removed, all his personal effects, if any. The crew from the crime lab went through the alley and found a wallet behind the garbage cans at the rear of the liquor store. There was no money in it, but other papers hadn't been disturbed. Driver's license, Social Security card, and several business cards in the wallet bore the name of Arthur McKinley. The description on the license matched that of the victim. Comparison of the thumbprint on the driver's license with those taken from the body matched. McKinley's home address was listed as 9722 Willetta Street in Hollywood. The coroner removed the body. 10:52 a.m., Frank and I talked to Alex Jones, the man who had been in the alley where the body had been found. We had him take everything out of his pockets.
I don't know what you're talking about. I didn't kill anybody.
We didn't say you did. All we want to know is what were you doing in that alley?
I went there to get away.
From what?
People. They're no good. None of them. No good.
You got a job?
Yeah, I work.
What do you do?
Wash dishes sometimes.
Pearl diver?
No, sir. No pearl diver. I'm a bartender. I don't feel so good. You got anything to drink around here?
You know better than that, don't you?
I didn't mean booze. Something cold. It feels like somebody's closed a valve in my head. It feels like it's going to blow apart. Isn't there something, anything, as long as it's cold?
How about a Coke?
Yeah, be fine.
I'll get it for you. Want one, Joe?
No, thanks.
Mind if I go with you? Kind of stuffy in here.
All right, come on. We'll all walk down. You ever been arrested, Alex?
Yeah, a couple of times. Picked me up for being drunk.
What's your real name, Alex?
Stafford. Alex Stafford, that's the truth.
Where are you from?
Kansas.
Mm-hmm. What are you doing out here?
Figured that when I got out of the service, I'd come out here and go to work.
Yeah?
Got out here, spent a couple of days looking for a job, had my muster and out pay about $400. Figured I didn't have to go to work right away.
Uh-huh. All right, just a second. All right, here you go.
Thanks.
You want one, Frank?
No, thanks. I want to check R&I and see if they finished the run on McKinley yet.
Sure cold. Tastes good. Feel better.
That's fine. All right, let's go. Frank, see you back at the interrogation room.
Okay, Joe.
Want to stop at the office, give the coroner's office a call?
Yeah.
Like I was telling you, I figured that I didn't have to come up with a job right away, so I started to see the town. You know, try to find a place to work where I could maybe do some good.
What?
Where I could do some good. Where the tips would be good, you know, nice people.
Mm-hmm.
Well, I went around to the bars, talked to the bartenders, checking around. Each of the places I'd have a drink, you know, just to be sociable.
Yeah?
It wasn't long before my dough was gone. I was flat broke, kicked out of my room. We can't blame the landlady. She carried me for a couple of months. Finally said I had to go.
All right, go ahead. What'd you mean when you said that you were running away from people?
I got a job yesterday, washing dishes in a restaurant down on Spring. I worked like a dog. When I left last night, they paid me. I guess the boss knew I didn't have any money, no place to sleep.
Yeah.
I started to find a bed. And then I got to thinking that a drink might make me sleep better. So I stopped at a bar and had a couple. I had a couple more. I guess I fell asleep.
Yeah?
And anyway, I went into the alley, that one where you found the dead man, and I sat down and I went to sleep again. When I woke up, I was walking out when a cop in a car stopped me.
Mm-hmm.
Look, I didn't know the man was in there. Honest, I didn't. Now, you gotta believe me, because somebody's gotta believe me. I didn't know he was there.
Anything?
Not on McKinley. Found Alex record.
Yeah.
Like you said, a couple of drunk arrests, that's all.
I told you. Didn't I tell you that, huh? I got nothing to hide. I didn't even know the man was there.
All right, take it easy. Anything from the coroner?
Yeah, Joe, I called. Fixes the time of death at about 11:30 last night. Body hasn't been posted yet.
All right. You prove where you were at 11:30 last night, can you, Alex?
I don't know. I was someplace.
Yeah, we know that, but where?
Well, I got to think. 11:30. I was still working. I was washing dishes in the place over on Spring.
You can prove that, can you?
Yeah, sure. The boss, he'll tell you. He saw me. I didn't leave until 12. That's when I left the place. 12 o'clock, he'll tell you. 12 midnight.
All right, Alex.
Can I go now?
Well, we got to put in a call first. Maybe it might be better if we held you over a little while.
Why? I haven't done anything.
Well, it's against the law to be drunk on the streets. You know that, Alex.
Yeah, I guess I do. You're going to put me in jail?
No, we're going to have to book you. The judge will decide where you're going to go. Probably be the county work farm.
Yeah. That's probably better that way. Give me a chance to get off the booze. Well, I had it this time, seeing those things. Just one thing, Sergeant?
Yeah?
I want to make sure you understand that you really believe me.
What's that, Alex?
I'm not a dishwasher. I'm a bartender.
$12:18 p.m. We had Alex Stafford booked at the main jail on a charge of violation of 4127 LAMC, drunk. We called the place where he'd been employed and found that he'd been telling the truth about the time he had left the restaurant on Spring Street. 1:36 p.m. We drove out to McKinley's home in Hollywood. It was a small stucco cottage set into the side of a hill. In front of the house, there was a boy's bicycle and a smaller child's wagon. Frank rang the bell, and we waited.
Yes?
Miss McKinley?
Yes, that's right. What do you want?
Police officers, ma'am. We'd like to talk to you.
It's about Arthur, isn't it? Isn't it?
It might be better if we talked inside, Mrs. McKinley.
All right. Come on in. You have to excuse the way the house looks. I haven't felt like cleaning it up. I've been so worried about Arthur.
That's quite all right, ma'am.
Now, what is it you want to tell me about him? He's dead, isn't he? You don't have to lie about it. I know he's dead. I spent the whole night thinking about it. You can probably tell I haven't gotten any sleep. I don't want you to lie about it. I want the truth. Arthur's dead, isn't he?
Yes, ma'am, he is.
I'll have to sit down.
Was something we can get for you, Miss McKinley? Water, something like that?
No. Nothing.
Why do you say you knew your husband was dead, ma'am?
I just knew it, that's all. I can't tell you how. I can't put it into words, but I just knew it, that's all. When he called last night, I knew.
What time was that, ma'am?
About 6:30. Said he was just leaving the shop and that he was on his way home. It was his birthday. He's going to stop and get some beer and a couple of bottles of bourbon.
Mm-hmm.
We're having some people in. He said he was going to stop for some things. Then he said he'd be right home.
Yes, ma'am.
And the children waited up for him till 10 o'clock. That's way past their bedtime. I let them wait up. They had some presents they wanted to give their father. Arthur Jr. had made a wallet and handcraft class at school, all tooled and carved and everything. It's on the table there.
Mm-hmm.
Little girl got him an ashtray. She picked it out by herself. It's on the table, too. Guess maybe you'll never get it now.
I wonder if we could call your family doctor, ma'am. You don't look like you're well.
No. I just can't believe it yet. But I know it's true. That's funny, isn't it? I know it's true, but I don't believe it. I know it's true, and I don't believe it. How did it happen? Was it an accident in the car?
No, ma'am. He was murdered.
Arthur. Arthur, he was murdered?
That's right, Miss McKinley.
Miss McKinley. There's no Mr. McKinley anymore. He was murdered.
I think maybe you better let us call a doctor for you, ma'am. Get you something.
No, there's nothing a doctor can do. Nothing anybody can do. Nothing. Who did it, you know? You know who killed him?
No, ma'am, we don't. Not yet.
You said your husband called you from the shop, ma'am. What shop would that be?
It's the florist shop. Our shop. We owned it. He called me from there about 6:30 and said he'd be home. That he was going to stop for some things and then he'd be home. But he wasn't. I knew it. I knew it all night. I thought of what I'd say, what I'd do, how I'd feel, but now none of it fits. None of it seems to matter. Nothing matters much. Nothing. He said he was coming right home.
Who's your family doctor, ma'am?
What'd you say?
Your family doctor, ma'am. Who is he?
Dr. Simpkins in Hollywood. Dr. Simpkins, Hollywood, 27083.
You want to call him?
Yeah.
He said he was going to pick up a few things and come right home. My husband, Arthur McKinley. You know that, do you?
Ma'am?
There is no Mr. McKinley anymore, is there?
We called the McKinley family doctor. He arrived and gave Mrs. McKinley a sedative. Frank and I talked to her before it took effect. We asked her about her husband's friends, his business associates. She could give us no new leads. She told us that her husband usually brought the weekend receipts from the store home with him on Sunday night so that he could make out the deposit slip for the bank. She said that he usually had about $300 to $400 on Sunday night. She gave us the name of the liquor store where he did business. 2:47 p.m. Frank and I drove out to the store.
Gentlemen, what can I do for you?
Mr. Kennedy?
Night?
Police officer, Mr. Kennedy. I'd like to ask you a couple of questions.
Sure, anything to help the police. Nothing that I've done, is it?
No, sir. It's about Arthur McKinley.
You get home last night? Wife called, seemed pretty upset. Nothing wrong, is there?
Was Mr. McKinley in here last night, sir?
Yeah, he was. Let's see, I guess it's about 6:45. Come in, got a case of beer, a couple of bottles of bourbon.
Uh-huh. Was there anybody with him when he came in?
No, there wasn't.
Did he seem all right to you when he was here?
What do you mean?
Well, was he in good spirits? Did he act like anything was wrong?
No, of course that don't mean anything.
Sir?
Well, even if there was anything wrong with Arthur, you'd never know it. Always laughing, always had a joke. He had a great one last night, real funny.
Yeah?
He told the one about the two musicians that were walking down the railroad track, and one of them said to the other, "Boy, this is the longest stairway I ever been down."
Well, yes, sir.
And then the other musician said, "I don't mind that, but these low banisters are killing me." Low banisters. Say, what's this all about anyway? Something happened to Arthur?
He's been murdered, Mr. Kennedy.
Arthur? Arthur McKinley? You sure?
Yes, sir. We're sure.
How about that? Only last night I saw him laughing away. He was killed. You know who did it?
No, sir, not yet.
How about that? Bet his wife's pretty upset.
Do you know anyone who might want to kill him?
No, not Arthur.
Anybody in the neighborhood he had quarrels with? Any disagreements?
No, not I can think of.
Well, has there been anybody new, anybody you don't know hanging around the neighborhood lately? Anybody who could have known about McKinley's carrying that money around with him?
Well, let me think. Yeah, come to think about it, there is a fella. Seen him around the last couple of days. Matter of fact, I saw him last night when I helped Arthur carry the beer out to the car. Sure, that's where I saw him.
Sir?
He was in the car with Arthur.
February 10th, 3:50 p.m. We continued to question John Kennedy. He told us that when Arthur McKinley had left the liquor store, he had carried a case of beer out to the car for him. Kennedy said there was a man waiting in the car. The liquor store owner told us that he had seen the man in the neighborhood on several previous occasions, that the man had talked to most of the shopkeepers in the vicinity asking for odd jobs. Kennedy went on to say that he had hired him himself once to wash the front windows of the store. He gave us a complete description, and Frank called it into the office. A local and an APB were gotten out on him. Kennedy was unable to give us his name or tell us where the suspect might live. He agreed to go downtown to the city hall and look through the mug books for us. He called his brother down to take charge of the store, and as soon as he arrived, Kennedy was taken down to the office. 5:17 p.m. We drove back to the McKinley home. Mrs. McKinley had recovered from the initial shock of finding out that her husband was dead. We asked her if she knew where her husband's car was, and she told us that as far as she knew, he had driven it the night before, and that she hadn't seen it since. She gave us the description and license number, and we called it into the office. A broadcast was gotten out on it. We asked Mrs. McKinley to go with us to her husband's store, and she agreed. On a table in back of the store, we found 2 empty beer bottles and a couple of glasses. Leighton Prince was called, and they came out and lifted 2 sets of fingerprints from the bottles and the glasses. Crime Lab came out and photographed the place. There was no sign of a struggle, but there was evidence that there had been a party there the night before. We drove Mrs. McKinley back to her home, and at 8:13 p.m., Frank and I checked back into the city hall.
Long day, huh, Joe?
Yeah, I'm getting a little tired. What do you want to eat tonight?
Doesn't make any difference. Go ahead.
Right. I'll get it. Homicide, Friday. Yeah, Dean. Mm-hmm. They did, huh? Who? Oh, let me get that. Yeah, I got it. Okay, thanks, Dean. Yeah, you bet. Good night. It was Bergman. They made the prints on that bottle and glass.
Yeah?
A fellow named Fred Gerard. Did time for armed robbery.
You are listening to Dragnet, the authentic story of your police force in action.
We like to give you the facts about Chesterfield so you can be your own judge.
Chesterfield is the first and only cigarette to give you premium quality in both regular and king size.
Chesterfield is the first and only cigarette to tell you what it's made of. The world's best, kept tasty and fresh by pure and costly moistening agents. The best that money can buy. And Chesterfield cigarette paper is of the highest purity.
Now, Chesterfield is the first and only cigarette to present this scientific evidence on the effects of smoking.
Medical specialist is making regular bi-monthly examinations of a group of people from various walks of life. 45% of this group have smoked Chesterfields for an average of 10 years. He reports that he observed no adverse effects on the nose, throat, and sinuses of the group from smoking Chesterfield. Either way you like them, regular or king size, you'll find premium quality Chesterfields much milder.
February 10th, 8:30 p.m. Frank and I pulled a package on Fred Gerard. He'd been arrested in 1942 on a charge of violation of 211 PC. He'd been convicted for 5 years in the penitentiary at San Quentin. Checked back with John Kennedy, the man who had seen Arthur McKinley leave the liquor store in the company of the man we figured to be the murderer. When we entered the mug room, he was talking to Sergeants Joe LaMonica and Danny Galindo. He told us that so far he had been unable to identify the man he had seen with McKinley. We showed him a mug shot of Gerard, and he positively identified it. He went on to say that as far as he was concerned, there could be no mistake, and that as far as he knew, Gerard was the last man seen with the victim before his death. McKinley's car had been found 2 blocks from the alley where we'd found the body. In the back of it, the officers found the remainder of the case of the 2 bottles of bourbon. Latent prints went out and dusted the car. Came up with one good set of prints other than the victim's. When these were checked, it was found that they matched the file copies of Gerard's fingerprints. 9:46 p.m. We drove out to the address listed in Gerard's package. His landlady showed us to his room. It was evident that he hadn't been in it the night before. Frank and I waited for him to return. 10 p.m. 11. 11:30.
What are you doing here?
You Fred Gerard?
Yeah, that's right. Who are you?
Police officers.
Oh, cops. What do you want with me?
You know a man named Arthur McKinley?
Why?
You know him?
Yeah. Oh, anything wrong with that?
When'd you see him last?
Last night.
Where?
At his store. I came by about 6:15. We talked for a while, and then he closed the store. He said he had to get home for a birthday party, something like that. We went to Kennedy's to get some beer, and then he went back to the store. I iced a couple, and then I left.
What time was that?
Well, I guess about 8:30 or so. I had to meet a guy out in Santa Monica, so I left.
McKinley at his store?
Yeah, that's right. Say, what's this all about? What are you giving me problems for? I haven't done anything.
All right, take everything out of your pockets. Put it right down here.
Look, you got no right to barge in. Tell me what to do. I'm clean.
Then you got no reason for not cooperating.
Well, I suppose not.
Then take everything out of your pockets.
Yeah. Keys.
Your money in your wallet?
Yeah.
How much you got?
I don't know. I have to count it.
All right, count it.
5, 6, 7, 8. $8, I don't know. 56, 7, 8, 9, 92 cents. Canadian penny.
Was there anybody with McKinley and you when you were drinking?
No, just went in the back of the store to have a beer, a little talk. We got along pretty good. He used to hire me once in a while, clean up a store, sweep out, things like that.
Yeah. Was he feeling all right when you left him?
I guess so. I didn't ask him, but he didn't say anything about it. Just said he had to get home for a party, that his wife would be hacked if he was late. I said I left at 9:15. You might ask Stu Bennett. He might be able to tell you something.
Who's he?
Owns a little grocery just down the street from McKinley.
So you might know about McKinley?
Yeah, he was there when I left. I was walking out when Mr. McKinley opened the door. Bennett was walking by. He said he had some things he wanted to talk to McKinley. Mm-hmm. When I left, Bennett went in the store. What's this all about, anyway? Something happened, McKinley?
He's been murdered.
Oh, no, kid. You're a nice guy. You figured I did it, huh?
That's the way it looked.
Yeah. Well, I did some time. I won't try to con you. You probably know all. Anyway, I wouldn't kill anybody, though. I'm going straight. I've been working every day since I got out.
Mm-hmm.
I'll tell you, though.
Yeah.
You might talk to Stu Bennett. He was with him.
Fred Gerard has a complete description of Stuart Bennett. We called the name into R&I, but he had no record. We checked Bennett's store and found a card on the front door that gave his home address. Frank and I drove to his house. He lived in a new apartment development in the southwest section of town. Monday morning, 12:47 a.m. We rang the bell to his apartment. He's probably asleep.
Yeah. Want to try it again?
No. I'd like to talk to you.
Just a minute.
Yeah?
Police officers. I'm Smith. This is my partner, Joe Friday.
How do you do? Want to come in?
Right.
Well, what is it you wanted to talk to me about?
You know a man named Arthur McKinley? Do you?
I knew you'd find out. I knew it right after it happened. Right away.
All right, you want to get dressed?
Yeah, all right. I came home last night after it happened. I thought about it. I thought and thought. I wanted to go and tell you about it. I knew that I'd done a terrible thing. Killed Arthur. Killed another human being. You got to understand one thing, Mr. Friday.
What's that?
It's important to me. I'm not a vicious man.
Why'd you kill him?
I stopped last night to talk to all of us getting together as sort of a pool. Hiring Fred to sort of take care of all the stores. That's what I went to see him about. I thought it'd be nice to have someone to take care of the stores, wash the windows, sweep up, and we'd all chip in and pay him. Sort of a pool, like I said.
Yeah?
We talked. Arthur wasn't too much in favor of the idea. Said he'd been thinking about giving Fred a regular job in the flower shop. Said things were real good with him. He thought he'd take on an assistant. Things were going real fine for him.
You better get dressed. We'll go downtown.
After I killed him, I took him out of the store, put him in an alley.
Yeah?
Now, I wanted to come and tell you about it. I went down to City Hall. I walked up the stairs on Spring Street. You know the big ones?
Yeah.
I was going to give myself up. I wanted to tell you about it. And then when I got there, the doors were closed. The sign said to use a Main Street entrance. I sat down on the stairs. Sat there for a long time. I thought about telling somebody about what I'd done. And then I walked around by the police department. On the walk, it goes around. I looked into the window and saw the detective. I wanted to go right in and tell him about it.
All right. Come on. Get your clothes on. Let's go.
Now, that should prove it to you.
What's that?
I'm not a vicious man.
The story you have just heard was true. The names were changed to protect the innocent.
On June 5th, trial was held in Department 97, Superior Court of the State of California, in and for the County of Los Angeles. The results of that trial.
Now, here is our star, Jack Webb.
Thank you, George Fenneman. Friends, remember now, Chesterfield is first to present scientific evidence on the effects of smoking. A medical specialist is making regular bi-monthly examinations of a group of people from various walks of life. 45% of the group have smoked Chesterfields for an average of 10 years. He reports that he observed no adverse effects on the nose, throat, and sinuses of the group from smoking Chesterfield. Either way you like them, regular or king size, you'll find premium quality Chesterfields much milder.
Stuart Carlisle was tried and found guilty of murder in the first degree. He is now serving his term in the state penitentiary, San Quentin, California. Murder in the first degree is punishable by death or by confinement in the state penitentiary for life. You have just heard Dragnet, a series of authentic cases from official. Technical advice comes from the Office of Chief of Police W.H. Parker, Los Angeles Police Department. Technical advisors, Jack Donahoe, Sergeant Marty Wynn, Sergeant Vance Brasher. Heard tonight were Ben Alexander, Eddie Firestone, Carolyn Jones, Herb Bygren. By John Robinson. Music by Walter Schumann. Hal Gibney speaking.
Sound off for Chesterfield. Either way you like them, regular or king size, you'll find premium quality Chesterfields much milder.
Chesterfield has brought you Dragnet, transcribed from Los Angeles. Sound off for Chesterfield. Chesterfield, the only cigarette in America to give you premium quality in both regular and king size, brings you Dragnet.
Ladies and gentlemen, the story you are about to hear is true. The names have been changed to protect the innocent. You're a detective sergeant. You're assigned the homicide detail. The body of a dead man has been found in the rear of his shop. He has been brutally beaten to death. The killer is unknown. Your job, find him. Thousands are changing to Chesterfield, both regular and king size, because Chesterfield is the first and only cigarette to give you premium quality in both sizes.
That means king-size Chesterfield contains tobaccos of better quality and higher price than any other king-size cigarette.
It's the same fine tobacco as in regular Chesterfield. There is absolutely no difference, except that king-size Chesterfield is larger, contains so much more of the same tobaccos, it gives more than a fifth longer smoke. Yes, more than a fifth longer smoke.
So remember, Chesterfield is the only cigarette to give you premium quality in both regular and king size.
Buy 'em either way you like 'em. Premium quality Chesterfield, and much milder.
Dragnet, the documented drama of an actual crime. For the next 30 minutes, in cooperation with the Los Angeles Police Department, you will travel step by step on the side of the law through an actual case transcribed from official police files. From beginning to end, from crime to punishment, Dragnet is the story of your police force in action.
It was Monday, July 5th. It was hot in Los Angeles. We were working the day watch out of homicide detail. My partner's Frank Smith. The boss is Captain Lorman. My name's Friday. It was 7:58 a.m. when I got to room 42. Homicide.
That you, Joe?
Yeah. How's it going?
Don't ask me.
What's the matter?
Went to the beach yesterday. Got so sunburned I could hardly sleep last night. I'm just miserable, Joe. It's going to be a week before I can wear a shirt without feeling I got army blanket on.
Well, can't you get something for it? Something to make it feel a little better anyway?
Don't bring that up either.
What's that?
If you've got any homemade remedies for sunburn, keep them to yourself. I've had them for now.
Yeah, why? What's the matter?
Like I said, we went to the beach yesterday. Beautiful day. They fixed up a lunch, sandwiches, potato salad, deviled eggs, all that stuff.
Yeah, I know.
We went down to Castle Rock, down the highway.
Yeah.
Just had a ball. Just great. Kids played in the water, and then when it got dark, we had a few 4th of July things for them. Sparklers, stuff like that. Then we got home, and I started to feel it.
What, the sunburn?
Yeah. Back feels like it's on fire, Joe. Legs feel like I got them in hot oil. Believe me, it's terrible. Took off my shirt, pants at home, just sitting there in my shorts. I was trying to figure out some way to stop the burning,
Yeah.
Well, it happened. In comes Armand.
Oh, that's your brother-in-law, huh?
Yeah. He's read in some magazine where tea is the stuff for burns. Right away, he starts brewing tea. Tea? Yeah.
And you drink?
Yeah. Tells me to lay down on the floor, right flat on my stomach. I was feeling so miserable, I'd have done anything to get rid of the feeling, so I did just lay there. And he starts putting tea leaves all up and down my back of my legs, and felt real good at first, kind of cool,
Yeah. And all this time you're laying on your stomach there.
Yeah, right in the middle of the living room floor. He put papers down first, so the tea wouldn't drip all over the floor.
Well, you brew this stuff first.
Yeah, and then they put the tea leaves on me, but then the tea leaves started to dry. They crinkled all up, and the pain came back. Just miserable, Joe.
Well, did it do any good at all?
I don't know. They finally took it off and put some kind of ointment on my back. Helped a little. Had to sleep on my stomach all night. Couldn't turn over. I just lay real still. Once in a while, I'd fall asleep and roll over, and wow, I'd wake right up with the pain. I tell you, Joe, I didn't sleep at all. Not a wink.
Yeah, I know what you mean. I don't see what you're blaming Armand for. Seems like he did try to help you out, though.
Oh, sure, he tried. Whole thing was his fault. If he'd kept his big mouth shut, everything would have been all right.
How'd he figure that?
A picnic. It was his idea, Joe.
It's a hot shot. I'll get it.
What is it?
Killing down on Bixel. 8:14 a.m. We arrived at the address on South Bixel. It was a small neighborhood pawn shop. A radio car had arrived, and the 2 officers had cleared the crowd away from the entrance of the store. One of the officers showed us through a curtain into the back room. Everything was smashed. Glass cases were demolished. Clothing from the shelves had been torn down and thrown all over the floor. At one side of the room, a closet door was half open, and in the closet was the body of a man. We started to talk with George Armstrong, the victim's partner.
Terrible. I don't want to look anymore. I don't want to believe it. Anybody would do this to Mark.
Mark, is that your partner's name?
Yes, Mark Williams, my friend. We've been together the last 15 years. Knew each other for 10 years before that. I don't want to think about it.
Would you like to step out here, sir? Front part of the store.
Well, would it be all right?
Yes, it'll be fine.
I'll call the crime lab, Joe.
All right, good.
Where's the phone, sir?
It's back there on the wall.
Thanks.
I'd like to ask you some questions, if it'd be all right.
Yes?
You discovered the body, is that right?
Well, yes. This morning when I came in, I opened the store like I always do, about, I think, 7:45, I guess it was. Something like that.
I see.
I opened the front door like I usually do, and then I came in and put the water on for some tea. You can see there, see that hot plate? Mark and I usually have a cup of tea when he comes in.
I see.
Well, then I went to the back room to hang up my coat. First, I thought that somebody had tried to rob the place.
Mm-hmm.
Way things, were scattered all over. Then I saw Mark laying on the floor, and I called you.
They're on the way, Joe.
Okay. Did you always open up the store by yourself, Mr. Armstrong?
Yes. I don't know how it started, but somewhere along the line, I'd open up the place, and then Mark would clean up the shop and close. It's been that way for years.
Mm-hmm. When did you last see Mr. Williams? That is, when did you see him alive?
Saturday night. I left about 5:45. He was closing the place up. I told him that I'd meet him for breakfast Sunday morning. He wasn't there. I tried to call him at home, but there wasn't any answer. His landlady hadn't seen him.
Was he married, do you know?
No, he wasn't married. Same thing happened to both of us. Neither one of us married.
What's that, sir?
Well, you see, Mark and I are both in love with the same girl when we were younger. We used to take her to the park in the summer, listen to the band, concert. Three of us, we used to go every place together. Like I said, both of us were in love with her.
Uh-huh.
Well, things went along just fine for a year or so, and then she got married to someone else. Mark and I were pretty sad about it. Couldn't blame the girl, though. The guy she married was rich. He had a big house and a good family. We didn't have much of anything. No, neither of us married. Just never seemed to find a girl compared with Kate.
Kate?
Kate Dillon. She's a lovely girl.
This meeting you were going to have yesterday morning, was that a regular thing?
Oh, yes, it was. You see, about the only relaxation Mark and I had was bowling on the green.
Bowling?
Mm-hmm. Every Sunday that it didn't rain, we'd meet for breakfast and then catch a bus out to Exposition Park. Bowling club out there. Mark and I both belonged. Mark was a sort of local champion. Played a real good game.
Well, didn't you think that anything was wrong when he didn't meet you yesterday?
Well, yes, I did. I did at first. Then I got to thinking about it, and I figured maybe he wasn't feeling too good. Just didn't want to go out to the club.
Yes, sir.
He'd get like that, moody. Just for no reason at all, decided he didn't want to go anyplace at all. Just sit in his room. Almost always came to work, even when he was in the mood. But now and then he'd just sit up there and look out the window.
Was there any special reason for all this?
No, not that I know of. He just get like that. No special reason. When he did, you just had to sit and let the mood pass. Nothing else to do.
I see. Well, did Mr. Williams have any enemies that you'd know of? Anyone at all that might do a thing like this?
No, sir. No one.
Mm-hmm. Was he alone when you left him Saturday night?
Yes, he was straightening up the shelves, getting the things in order. But he was all by himself. No one was here.
Well, have you ever had any trouble with anyone in the neighborhood lately? Somebody who might have been looking for trouble, maybe?
Well, Sergeant, most of our customers have trouble.
Well, yes, sir, but about how much money was on the premises when you left?
Maybe $1,500.
Where'd you keep the money?
In the safe, right there. You can see for yourself it's all right.
Would you mind opening it up just to be sure?
Well, if you want me to, but I'm sure everything's okay.
If you wouldn't mind, sir.
Okay. I know there's nothing wrong here. 43. You can see for yourself that everything's okay, can't you? 16 left.
Yes, sir. We just want to be sure.
Right to 8. There. You can see it.
Uh-huh. Is the money kept in that strong box?
Yes, sir.
Who knew the combination to this safe? I mean, besides you.
Just Mark and me. We were the only ones.
Mm-hmm.
There. All the money's there.
Mm-hmm. Is there anything else missing from the store? Anything that you can see?
Well, Sergeant, look around you. If there was anything, how could I tell? I'd have to take a complete inventory. Well, what difference does it make? How's it going to help Mark?
Well, it's pretty important we find out why he was killed the way he was, sir. The beating and all. If you'd look around, you might be able to come up with something.
Oh, all right, I'll look around, but I tell you, I don't think there's anything gone.
All right, if you just do that, we'll look over the back room. It'll be all right.
Pretty bad, huh, Joe?
Yeah. Looks like revenge could have been the motive, maybe, from the looks of things here.
Yeah, it'd have to be something like that. Terrible beating. The way the place is all smashed up.
Yeah. Frank?
Yeah?
Come over here.
Yeah?
Look here in the closet. You can see it there under the body.
Oh, yeah, looks like a hand axe.
Yeah.
Might have been trying to defend himself, huh?
Well, maybe.
Sergeant?
Yes, sir?
You're right, absolutely right.
What's that, sir?
Well, he did steal something. The gun case had been broken into.
Yes, sir. Anything missing?
A couple of revolvers.
8:32 a.m. The crime lab crew arrived and went over the place. In the back room, under a pile of clothes, they found a 10-inch length of lead pipe. Dean Bergman from Leighton Prints dusted the room, the safe in the store, and the lead pipe. He came up with several clean prints. He rolled the dead man's fingerprints, and then he took Armstrong's. Comparison with those he'd found eliminated all of them except a partial print on the safe. The coroner arrived and removed the body. Frank and I canvassed the neighborhood, but none of the people in the area had noticed anyone suspicious in the last few days. We called the office, and Sergeants Joe LaMonica and Howard Hudson came out to help us in the search of the vicinity. The axe found in the hands of the victim, Mark Williams, had stains on the blade. A closer check of the pawn shop showed that several articles other than the guns had been stolen. George Armstrong gave us a complete list of the missing property along with the serial numbers of the guns. 11:34 a.m. Frank and I checked back into the city hall. Frank, did you get the APBs out?
Yeah? Notified the pawn shop detail. Any word from LaMonica and Hudson?
No, not yet. At least there's nothing in the book there. I get it. Homicide Friday. Oh, yeah, Judge. Mm-hmm. Yeah. No, we haven't heard from him yet. No. Where? Yeah. Yeah, well, that figures. Uh-huh. Okay, thanks. LaMonica, he and Hudson found a blood-stained shirt in an alley behind an apartment house a couple of blocks from a pawn shop.
Yeah?
Checked the apartment register, and they found a Wallace Holmes listed.
Holmes?
Yeah, LaMonica knows him.
Yeah?
Just served 6 months for violation of the Narcotics Act. p.m. We ran the name Wallace Holmes through R&I. He had a record dating back almost 10 years. He'd been arrested twice for violation of the State Health and Safety Code and once on suspicion of 211 PC. We talked to the neighbors in the apartment building where he lived, but they told us that Holmes had been in bed with a bad cold for the past 3 days. Several of them had taken him food on occasion and stated positively that he could not have left the apartment. Bergman checked his fingerprints against those we'd found at the pawn shop. There was no make. A stakeout was placed on the building. 2:15 p.m. We checked with the crime lab to see if Ray Pinker had finished the tests on the physical evidence that he'd collected at the murder scene.
Looks like the lead pipe. Can you tell us anything about the killer?
Nothing except he's WMA.
How about the other bloodstains, Ray?
Test out type O. Victim's type B.
Well, figures that he managed to hit the killer with the axe then, huh?
Possible.
How about the shirt? Did you find anything on it?
We haven't finished the tests on the dust particles we found in the pockets yet. Precipitin test shows it's human blood. Haven't had a chance to group it yet.
How about any laundry markings? Anything there, Ray?
Yeah, just about to check it. Spread it out here. You want to get those lights, Frank?
Yeah, I'll go.
Turn on this fluorescent. Yeah. Laundry marking here.
Yeah. Looks like RJ.
Mm-hmm.
Is that right? And there's a number there, too, in there.
769-02.
Anything else, Ray?
No. Looks like that's about it.
What laundry, would you know?
Yeah, I think so. Marking's the same type as Consolidated Central Laundry uses. Big place out on Pico.
Mm-hmm.
Handle cleaning for a lot of small neighborhood places in town. I can give you the address.
Okay, anything else?
Oh, he had a 15 neck and a 33 sleeve.
Average size, not much help, huh?
Maybe I can give you some more when I get through the dust particles in the pockets.
Yeah, okay. Wish we had a little more to go on.
Well, you got a piece of lead pipe, a stained shirt, and an axe that looks like it's been recently used.
Yep.
They all connect somewhere along the line.
Yeah, all we got to do is find out where. 2:58 p.m. Frank and I drove out to the Consolidated Central Laundry. We talked to the manager, and he looked through the files. He was able to tell us that the shirt had been laundered at a small cleaning place on South Hill. He gave us the address, and Frank and I drove over. We talked to the manager of the shop.
Uh-huh. Yeah, it's our number, all right.
Yes, sir. Would it be possible for you to tell us who owns the shirt?
Yeah, I'll look it up in the book. Let's see, RJ 769-02.
Mm-hmm. That's right.
Let's see, 642. 98-7. Yeah, here it is. John Dunlap, address out on 3rd Street. Say, what do you want to know about the shirt for? Dunlap done something?
Oh, we're just conducting an investigation here.
Oh.
Wonder if you'd describe this Dunlap for us.
Oh, sure. I've known John for years. Been bringing his things in here for at least 8, maybe 9 years.
Could you give us a description of him, you think?
Yeah, Johnny's about my size, maybe 5'11". Weighs about 180.
How about his coloring?
Huh?
His coloring. Is he dark or light complected?
Oh, yeah. Well, I guess you'd say maybe sort of medium. Yeah, medium.
Does he have any marks or scars on him? Anything unusual about him?
Well, if you asked me that yesterday, I'd have said no.
How's that?
Well, up till this morning. John came in this morning, and there was nothing that made him stand out up till then. He must have had an accident over the weekend, I guess.
I don't understand.
Came in this morning, his face was all scratched up.
You are listening to Dragnet, the authentic story of your police force in action.
We like to give the facts about Chesterfield so you can be your own judge.
Chesterfield is the first and only cigarette to give you premium quality in both regular and king size.
Chesterfield is the first and only cigarette to tell you what it's made of. The world's best tobaccos. Kept tasty and fresh by pure and costly moistening agents. The best that money can buy. And Chesterfield cigarette paper is of the highest purity.
Now, Chesterfield is the first cigarette to present this scientific evidence on the effects of smoking.
A medical specialist is making regular bi-monthly examinations of a group of people from various walks of life. 45% of this group have smoked Chesterfield for an average of over 10 years. After 8 months, the medical specialist reports that he observed no adverse effects on the nose, throat, and sinuses of the group from smoking Chesterfield. I'd say that means real mildness. Either way you like them, regular or king size, you'll find premium quality Chesterfields much milder.
Monday, 5:30 p.m. Frank and I ran the name John Dunlap through R&I. We found no record on anyone answering his description. Meantime, the stakeout on Wallace Holmes' apartment where we found the blood-stained shirt continued. Ray Pinker had finished the test on the shirt and found that most of the blood on it was type B. However, there were also small traces of type O. The tests on the dust particles found in the pockets of the shirt netted us nothing. 6:15 p.m. We drove out to the address given us by the cleaning shop. It was a large apartment building. Dunlap was registered in the penthouse. We took the elevator up and rang the bell.
Yeah?
John Dunlap?
That's right. What can I do for you?
Police officers would like to talk to you.
Police? What do you want with me?
Just like to talk to you.
Okay, come on in. You can see you caught me in the shower.
This is my partner, Frank Smith. My name's Friday.
How you doing?
Right here, sir. How you doing?
Hey, you mind if I go ahead and get dressed while we talk? I got a date and I don't want to be too late.
No, it's all right. Go right ahead.
Come on in here. What is it I can do for you, officers?
Well, what if you could explain your movement Saturday night?
Saturday night?
Yes, sir.
Well, let's see. I played golf in the morning, got back from the club about 6, I guess. Miserable game, 102, lost $35. Sure was off Saturday.
Just a minute, sir. You tell us what clothes you want. We'll get them for you.
All right, hand me that shirt there, the blue one, huh?
Here you are.
Sure, a miserable game Saturday. 3-putted almost every green.
Nice-looking shirts, Dunlap.
Like them?
Well, they're nice-looking. Where do you get them?
I have them made. Can't wear store-made shirts. Neck's too long. Collar doesn't fit right.
What'd you do after you got home from the golf club?
Took a shower, then went out. Had a date. Lousy game, ruined the whole evening.
Sir?
Well, after that crummy 102, I really played the 19th hole. Got pretty loaded. By the time I got to Alice's, I was in a rare mood.
Alice?
Yeah, Alice Miller. Anyway, I was about half hour late, and she was fit to be tied. We were supposed to have dinner out in Malibu. Took us about an hour to drive out there, and Alice kept getting madder as we drove. I guess I didn't help things out any. I was in a foul mood and didn't keep it to myself.
Yeah?
Well, by the time we got there, really going at it, silly thing, no sense to the argument at all, but it just kept building. Either one of you married?
Yes, sir. My partner here is.
Well, then he knows what I mean. Well, we didn't get down to the beach till about 8:30 or 9. We got out of the car, and Alice said she wanted me to take her back home. I told her we'd just gotten there. She said she didn't care, wanted to go home.
Yeah.
I told her if she wanted to leave, it was okay with me, and I turned around to walk down to the house. You know, it's pretty dark down there.
Uh-huh.
Well, I walked right over the embankment. Must have fallen over about 6-7 feet. Didn't hurt myself much, but you can see I scratched up my face.
Yeah, we can.
Well, a long one, though. I guess it was worth it.
How's that?
Well, Alice was so scared she ran down to me, and the argument was all over. We went on into the house and had dinner.
How long were you there?
Oh, I guess until, maybe 2:30, 3 in the morning. Got to playing charades. Time just went.
You happen to know what blood type you have?
What?
Your blood type. Do you know what it is?
Oh, I think it's A, but I'm not sure, though.
Uh-huh.
You said you had your shirts made to order, huh?
Yeah, that's right. Why?
Can you tell us how someone else might have gotten one of your shirts?
Wait a minute. I don't think I understand just what's going on. Or what is this all about? Come in here and ask a lot of questions. What's it all for?
Just routine.
Routine what? It's not routine for me to have policemen come in and ask a lot of questions. Where was I Saturday night? Who makes my shirts? Who might have had them? Come on, what's the pitch?
All right. You know a man named Mark Williams?
Williams? No, Tom Williams sells insurance.
No, Mark Williams.
No, I don't think I know him, Mark.
Anyway, what's he got to do with this?
He was killed Saturday night.
You figure maybe I did?
Well, a shirt that belongs to you was found near the scene.
My shirt?
That's right. Same label. Check the laundry markings in it. Your laundryman said it was your shirt. Said it was your number.
You talked to Harry?
Yeah, if that's his name. I guess we did.
Well, I don't understand it. Hey, wait a minute.
Yes, sir?
A couple of weeks ago, I gave a half a dozen shirts to the woman who comes in to clean up the place. She might know what happened. Let me call her and find out. I got her number here someplace. Yeah, here it is. If anybody knows, she would. A couple of weeks ago, told her she could have them. I don't know what's the matter with them. Hello? Mrs. Lambert in, please? Yeah, thank you. Oh, Mrs. Lambert? This is John Dunlap. Oh, just fine. And you? That's good. No, I just want to know what you did with those shirts you took a couple of weeks ago. Well, no, Mrs. Lambert, I did give them to you. I just want to know what you did with them. Uh-huh. I see. Well, can you give me the address? Well, just a minute. I'll get a pencil. You have a pencil, officer?
Here you are.
Thank you. Now, go ahead, Mrs. Lambert. Uh-huh. 47? All right, thank you. No, don't you worry. Everything's all right. Yeah, well, thank you, Mrs. Lambert. Yeah, I'll see you then. Right, goodbye. You're a real character. Thought I wanted the shirts back.
Did she tell you what she did with them?
Yeah, said she sold them to a second-hand store down on Bixel.
$7:20 p.m. We drove over to talk to the cleaning woman. She gave us the same story that we'd gotten from John Dunlap. We went over to the second-hand store, but it was closed. The stakeout on the apartment continued. The body had been posted, and the coroner told us that Williams had been killed at approximately midnight on Saturday night. That would allow 2 hours on either side, making it possible for the murder to take place between 10 p.m. and 2 a.m. Frank and I checked out of the office and went home. The following morning, Tuesday, July 6th at 8:17 p.m., we checked the second-hand store where the shirts had been sold. The dealer told us that he remembered the shirts. He said that he'd bought 5 of them and had only sold 1. He was able to give us a fair description of the man he'd sold the shirt to. He went on to say that he'd heard that the man was a user of narcotics. We ran the name he gave us, Fred Harris, through R&I. He had a record of violation of the State Narcotic Act. We got out an APB and a local bulletin on him. We called Narcotics Division and notified them that we wanted Harris as a suspect. We checked the address listed on his record, but we found that he'd moved and left no forwarding address. 2 days went by. We ran down all leads, but we were able to come up with nothing new. Thursday, July 8th, 8:30 a.m. Frank and I checked back into the squad room.
Well, there's another one that didn't go anyplace.
Yeah, well, he's got to be someplace. I get it. Homicide Friday. Oh, yeah, Joe. Mm-hmm. Yeah. Well, how soon will you be here? All right. Okay, right.
Anything?
Well, Monica and Hudson, they just picked Harris up. 11:20 a.m. Fred Harris was brought to the interrogation room. Frank and I talked to him for about an hour, but other than his name, he refused to tell us anything. We tried to lead him out. We talked about his family, about sports, food, everything we could think of. None of it worked. Harris remained sullen and uncooperative. 1:46 p.m.
How about some lunch, Joe?
Yeah, I guess so.
Harris?
No, thanks.
Well, you suit yourself.
What do you want, Joe?
Oh, ham on rise, all right. Get some coffee, too, huh?
Okay. You sure, Harris? You don't want anything to eat?
No, I told you.
Okay.
All right if I smoke?
Yeah, go ahead. Why don't you want to talk about it, Harris?
About what?
Why you killed Williams.
Who says I did?
That's the way it looks.
It looks wrong.
Well, you figured for yourself, Harris. When you killed the old man, you weren't very careful. You left a couple of prints around the place.
Yeah?
Shirt you wore, we got that. Found it right where you dropped it. Ran that down, leads right to you. Got the man who sold it to you. Identifies you.
Maybe he's wrong.
No, you know better than that. When they picked you up, you were carrying some of the things you stole from that pawn shop. You can't account for your time on Saturday night.
I told you I didn't do it. I didn't kill the old man. I just don't remember where I was that night. Didn't that happen to you? You go someplace and a couple of days later you can't remember where you were. Doesn't that ever happen to you?
Oh, yeah, once in a while.
Yeah, you see. How do you expect me to remember when you sometimes forget?
You a user?
What are you asking that for? You got the record. Look it up yourself.
Roll up your sleeve.
All right.
You're a user. You work for a living?
Yeah, sometimes.
What do you do?
Whatever I can.
When'd you last work?
A couple of weeks ago.
You haven't worked since then, huh?
No?
Where'd you get that stuff they found on you?
I don't know. Must have bought it.
Any idea where?
No.
You bought the stuff and you don't know where. Is that what you want me to believe?
Believe what you want. I don't care.
Well, here's what I believe. You tell me if I'm wrong. I think you went to the old man's pawn shop about closing time on Saturday night. You had a big yen on and no money to make a connection. You tried to rob the old man. He didn't like it and you killed him. You killed him with that hunk of lead pipe we found, the one with your fingerprints all over it. Then you tried to get the safe open and you couldn't. So you wiped it clean, grabbed what you could carry, and you ran out of the store. A couple of blocks away, you calmed down and took a look at yourself. You threw that shirt in the ash can, then you went up to Wallace Holmes' apartment to try to make a connection, didn't you?
He tell you all that?
No.
Now, come on, how about it? Holmes tell you that?
Well, look, you're a little mixed up, aren't you? You just answer, you don't ask.
Sure, he told you. You never found out if he did. My big pal, Wallace Holmes. After all I'd done for him. If I had a nickel for every pop I shared with that bum and he cops out on me, blabs everything to you. The one guy I'd have done anything for. Give the guy the shirt off your back, and this is the thanks I get.
Well, that's your big trouble, Harris.
What do you mean?
You ought to hang on to your shirts.
The story you have just heard was true. The names were changed to protect the innocent.
On November 15th, trial was held in Department 86, Superior Court of the State of California, in and for the County of Los Angeles. In a moment, the results of that trial.
Now, here is our star, Jack Webb.
Thank you, George Fenneman. Friends, again this year, Chesterfield has asked me to remind you to see your own neighborhood cigarette dealer first about your Christmas shopping problems. Among many wonderful gift ideas, he's featuring the gift of the year, the Chesterfield Christmas carton. Now, to my way of thinking, it's the ideal gift because Chesterfield is the only premium quality cigarette available to you shoppers in both regular and king size. Either way, regular or king size, they're a wonderful smoke and they make fine Christmas gifts. Get them from your dealer. Premium quality Chesterfields.
Fred Richard Harris was tried and convicted of murder in the first degree. He was executed in the lethal gas chamber at the State Penitentiary, San... You have just heard Dragnet, a series of authentic cases from official files. Technical advice comes from the Office of Chief of Police W.H. Parker, Los Angeles Police Department. Technical advisors, Captain Jack Donahoe, Sergeant Marty Wynn, Sergeant Vance Brasher. Heard tonight were Ben Alexander, Vic Rodman, Olin Soule. Script by John Robinson. Music by Walter Schumann. Hal Gibney speaking.
Sound off for Chesterfields. Either way you like them, regular or king size, you'll find premium quality Chesterfields much milder.
Chesterfield has brought you Dragnet, transcribed from Los Angeles.
Tonight, it's more adventure with Barry Craig, confidential investigator on NBC.
Sound off for Chesterfield. Chesterfield, the only cigarette in America to give you premium quality in both regular and king size, brings you Dragnet.
Ladies and gentlemen, the story you are about to hear is true. The names have been changed to protect the innocent. You're a detective sergeant. You're assigned to burglary detail. A string of store burglaries takes place in your city. The thieves work at night. They leave no physical evidence behind. Your job, get them. Thousands are changing to Chesterfield, both regular and king size, because Chesterfield is the first and only cigarette to give you premium quality in both sizes.
That means king-size Chesterfield contains tobaccos of better quality and higher price than any other king-size cigarette.
The same fine tobaccos as in regular Chesterfield. There is absolutely no difference, except that king-size Chesterfield is larger, contains so much more of the same tobaccos, it gives more than a fifth longer smoke. Yes, more than a fifth longer smoke from king-size Chesterfield.
So remember, Chesterfield is the only cigarette to give you premium quality in both regular and king size.
Buy 'em either way you like 'em, regular or king size. You'll find premium quality Chesterfields much milder. Yes, Chesterfield is best for you.
Dragnet, the documented drama of an actual crime. For the next 30 minutes, in cooperation with the Los Angeles Police Department, you will travel step by step on the side of the law through an actual case transcribed from official police files. From beginning to end, from crime to punishment, Dragnet is the story of your police force in action.
It was Wednesday, January 23rd. It was cold in Los Angeles. We were working the day watch out of burglary detail. My partner's Frank Smith. The boss is Captain Wisdom. My name's Friday. We were on our way out from the office, and it was 10:36 a.m. when we got to the corner of Constance and Westlake. Nichols' dry goods store.
Yes? Something I can do for you, gentlemen?
Yes, ma'am. We're police officers.
Oh, yes, about the robbery.
Yes, ma'am. Are you Gladys Nichols?
Yes, I am. I'm the owner. I found out that the safe had been robbed.
I think you mean your safe was burgled, Mrs. Nichols.
What?
Well, your safe, it's a technical term. We refer to it as having been burgled, not robbed.
Burgled. Robbed. They took the money out of it.
Well, you see, ma'am, a lot of people make that same mistake. A safe is burgled and a man is robbed.
Oh, yeah. Well, I came in this morning. I didn't get your name.
I'm sorry. My name's Friday. This is my partner, Frank Smith.
Well, I'm pleased to meet you.
How you doing?
Like I said, I'm Gladys Nichols.
Yes, ma'am. Now, if you just tell us what happened here.
Oh, sure. Well, I came in this morning, 8:30, just like I always do. Been doing the same thing for the past 10 years. 8 years at the old location. Always opened exactly 8:30 on the dot.
Yes, ma'am.
Miss Nichols. I took my maiden name when my husband died.
I'm sorry. You go right ahead, please.
Oh, sure. I came in at 8:30 this morning, opened the door, and came on in. Everything looked just like it should have. Hung up my coat, then I rolled up the shade on the front window. After that, I opened the safe, and that's when I knew that I'd been robbed, burgled.
That's right, ma'am.
I could tell it right away. Safe was empty, not a bit of money left. Cleaned it right out.
Do you know how much money there was in the safe, Miss Nichols?
Oh, yes. $423.76. I know exactly.
Yes, ma'am.
Can't understand it either. It should have gone off. Should have worked. Can't understand why it didn't.
What's that, ma'am?
Burglar alarm.
Oh.
Yeah, not a peep out of it. Nothing. The man that sold it to me said that if anybody so much as looked at something and thought about stealing it, the alarm would go off. But like I said, not a peep. Oh, I wonder if you'd excuse me for a minute. There's Mrs. Johnson, old customer.
Yes, ma'am.
It won't take a minute.
You, ma'am.
Good morning, Vera.
Morning, Gladys. I want a pattern and some material.
All right. What pattern do you want?
Oh, I was over to the Pomquits the other night. Barbara made some of the cutest pillows I ever saw. Looked like pieces of fruit. You know, watermelon, strawberry.
Oh, yeah, I know the ones you mean.
She said she saw them in a magazine. Sent for the pattern, but I thought if anybody had had it, you'd be the one. Have you?
Sure. It's new. I just got it in a couple of days ago. I guess you heard about my being burgled.
No. Really?
Sure, last night. Those two gentlemen back there from the police come in to talk to me about it.
And you were really robbed?
Burgled, Vera. Safe is burgled. A man is robbed.
Oh.
Now, is this the pattern you want?
Yes, that's the one. See there? I want to make the slice of watermelon and the strawberry. Think they'll look real nice on the bench in the parlor.
Oh, yes. Yes, they sure would.
Faye saw those things. Said she wanted to make some. You see them, Joe?
No, I never have.
They're real nice. Probably not too comfortable, but they sure look pretty.
How much material do I need for just the two?
Well, I'm not sure. Have to look at the pattern. Do you want just the melon slice and the strawberry, that right?
Yes.
Uh-huh. Well, for the melon, you need, let's see. You want it out of cloth or plastic?
What?
Cloth or plastic. You can make them out of either.
Cloth, I think. Yeah.
Faye's going to use plastic. It's better for the kids.
Yeah.
You'll need 3/4 yard of red and 1/4 yard of green felt for the hull and the stem. That's for the strawberry. And then for the melon, you'll need 1/2 yard of white, 1/2 yard of pink, and 1/2 yard of green.
All right.
Well, how about embroidery cotton? You'll need 4 skeins of 6-strand black.
I have plenty of that.
Well, I'll measure it out for you. Sure had some excitement around here this morning. All those policemen running around looking for fingerprints and clues. It was real excitement.
Mm-hmm. They caught the man yet?
No, that's what those 2 men are here for now. Want to ask them some questions.
Certainly don't look like policemen.
Now, why do you say that?
Well, they don't look anything like they do in the movies.
Never do. Now, you will need some muslin for this, too. You want to get it now?
No, I'll pick it up later. Got to get some batting, too.
All right.
That's the stuff that gives Faye trouble.
What?
Batting. You know, the stuff you put inside the pillows. Faye always has trouble with it. Stuff always creeps down to one end of the pillow. You got one real fat end, and the other one just hasn't got anything in it. Kind of uncomfortable when you sit on it.
Yeah.
Just put that on the bill, will you, Gladys?
You betcha.
Sure hope you get the burglary all straightened out.
Oh, I know they will. Thanks for coming in. Now then, I'm sorry to keep you waiting.
That's all right, ma'am. About that burglar alarm.
Yes?
Well, about the switch. Are you sure you turned it on when you left the shop?
Sure, you just bet I did. I always do. Right after I pull the shade down, I always switch on the system. It's supposed to ring when anybody tries to get into the place. Didn't work this time, not even a peep.
Well, now you say this time. Do you mean that something like this happened before?
Oh, no, just a figure of speech. No, never been anything like this before.
I see.
Did you notice anything disturbed in the place when you came in? Anything that made you think something might be wrong?
No, not a thing. Came in, rolled up the shade, and then opened the safe. That's the first I knew about it. Somebody opened it up. Must have known the combination. Just opened it up and took the money.
Well, does anyone else have a key to your front door here? Anyone besides yourself, I mean?
Well, there's Alan.
Alan?
Yes, Alan Hoffman. He comes in, straightens up for me. He's a decorator. Or at least he's trying to be one. He likes to come in and putter with the material. He works in some sort of store during the day, and then he comes in here in the evenings and works with the material. You know, tries out different things.
Yes, ma'am. Does he have the combination to your safe?
Oh, no. I'm the only one who has that.
Do you know if he was in here last night?
No, I don't. But I know that Alan wouldn't do a thing like this. I'm sure of that.
How is it you let this Alan have a key to the place, ma'am? Let him have the run of the place when you're not here?
Oh, well, I've known Alan for a long time. I knew his mother. We've always been good friends. Once in a while, he gets a commission to a house, and he always gets the material he needs from me. Oh, he's awfully nice. You'd like it.
Yes, ma'am. Do you know where we can get in touch with this Mr. Hoffman?
Sure, I can give you his address. Lives over on 9th. Got a real cute place. All modern and all. He does those mobiles. You know those things made out of wire and plastic? Hangs from the ceiling? Just hang there and go round and around. It's a new art form.
Yes, ma'am.
I don't understand them myself, but I guess there are a lot of people who do.
Yeah. Are you insured against theft, ma'am?
I beg your pardon?
Do you have any insurance against theft?
Sure, I have insurance. By golly, that's the first time I thought about it. I always thought that it was kind of a waste of money. Sure glad I have it now. This whole thing won't cost me a cent.
Well, now, outside of this Hoffman, do you hire anyone else in the store here?
No. Well, I don't pay Alan anything. He just comes in and putters. There's no need for anyone else in the store. I have a man come in once in a while to wash the front windows, but no one steady.
Has there been anyone around regularly? Anyone who'd be in a position to learn the combination to the safe, ma'am? And find out where the switch to the burglar alarm is?
No. No, not that I can think of. Of course, most of my customers are pretty regular, come in all the time, but I'm pretty sure that none of them would do a thing like this.
What if you could give us a list of the people who come in regularly, Miss Nichols?
Sure, I can. But I don't want you to go around bothering them, asking a lot of questions, causing embarrassment. I just won't have it. Money just isn't that important. It doesn't make that much difference, especially since I'm insured.
Well, we won't embarrass anyone. It's just that we'd like to have the list if we could.
Oh, well, all right.
What time did you close the store last night, Miss Nichols?
6:10. Same as always.
Did you lock the store yourself?
Yes, sir, I did.
Did you notice anyone loitering around outside? Anyone who might have looked a little unusual, like they were waiting for you to leave?
No, I don't think so. If there was anyone, I didn't notice them.
Did you leave any sort of a light burning in the place?
I beg your pardon?
Well, a night light. Do you leave one burning when you close up?
Sure. That lamp on the counter, old coffee grinder. I leave that on. Has a 150-watt bulb. Throws a lot of light. Of course, you can't see anything from the street when I close up. Just a lot of shadows.
I beg your pardon?
Well, I pull the shade down when I leave. Once I had some material fade that was in the window. Since then, I pull the shade down. When it's down, you can't see inside and the street's off.
Uh-huh.
Say, if you don't mind, I'd like to make a phone call.
Of course, ma'am.
I want to call those people and tell them what I think of them. If they're going to have to make good on that guarantee.
Who's that, ma'am?
Burglar alarm people. Thing didn't work at all. Not even a peep.
11:18 a.m. Frank and I checked by the crime lab to see if they'd been able to come up with any physical evidence from the scene of the burglary. As in the previous cases, there was nothing to work on. For the past month, a series of burglaries had been taking place in the same one-block area. The M.O. in every instance was the same. Somehow, the doors to the shops were being unlocked, the safes rifled, and then closed up again. In those stores where there wasn't a safe, merchandise was stolen. In all of the burglaries, whoever was responsible for them got away without leaving a trace of physical evidence behind. Store employees were interrogated. Owners were questioned. None of them could give us any lead. The M.O. had been run through the stats office, but they couldn't help us. Stakeouts had been placed on the stores. Extra men were sent out from Metro Division to patrol the streets. The men saw nothing, but the burglaries continued. The thief or thieves seemed to know just what stores were under surveillance and seemed to keep clear of them. Wednesday, 12:14 p.m. We ran the name Alan Hoffman through R&I, but we got no make. Frank and I drove out to his home address on 9th Street. He met us at the door and asked us in.
I'm doing some work back here. Mind if I go on with it?
No, sir. You go right ahead.
Right back here, sun porch. I got a commission to do a place I'm working on some mobiles for.
Oh, is that right?
Yeah, I think I'll call it Doves at Sunrise. Sit down. Any place.
Yeah, thanks. Just a couple of questions we'd like to ask you, Hoffman.
Sure, what about?
Were you in Miss Nichols' shop last night?
Oh, no, why?
Can you tell us where you were last night?
Yeah, I think so. I went to an exhibition of mobile, a place down on Pico. A friend of mine had a one-man show. Great ideas. Bad color, but great idea.
You prove you were there?
Oh, sure, if I have to. What's this all about, anyway?
I understand you have a key to the shop. Is that right?
Yeah. Gladys gave it to me. I go down there and check the material, get ideas for decorating.
Where do you work, Mr. Hoffman?
Right now in a store out on Beverly, antique shop. I want to go in business for myself, interior decoration. I've been working for it a long time. A couple of more good commissions, I'll be able to do it.
Mm-hmm. Do you work at night down there very often?
You mean at Gladys's?
Yeah, that's right.
Maybe a couple of times a week.
What time do you usually get there?
It depends on what I'm doing before. Usually I have dinner, then go by. Well, what's this all about, anyway? Something wrong?
Well, you probably know that there have been several burglaries down in that area lately.
Yeah, I heard about them. You figure I had something to do with them? Is that it?
Well, we're trying to find out who's responsible for them.
Well, it isn't me.
You ever notice anyone around the place when you were there at night?
No, not that I remember. Hand me that piece of balsa, will you?
Miss Wood here?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Here you are.
Thanks. No, I've never noticed anyone around there.
What time do you finish up at the shop there?
Sometimes as late as 2, maybe 3 in the morning.
Uh-huh. Miss Nichols tell you where the burglar alarm switch is?
Sure, I know. Couldn't move around the place without knowing about it. Have half the police force there if that thing ever went off.
You got any idea as to how that safe could be opened by someone other than Miss Nichols?
No, she's so touchy about that safe. She'd never let anyone get near her when she's opening. Even after she finishes the combination, she twirls the dial so you can't tell what number she stopped on.
You've looked, have you?
No. I don't like what you're trying to say.
Well, we're not trying to say anything, Hoffman.
Well, you imply that I might try to knock over that safe.
No, we didn't say that.
You said the same thing, asking me if I'd try to see the combination.
Well, now, just take it easy, Hoffman. If you haven't done anything, you got nothing to be afraid of.
Got nothing to be afraid of. I just don't like your remarks, that's all.
You ever been arrested? I say, you ever been arrested?
Oh, no. A couple of tickets for running red lights, that's all.
Can you give us the address of the place where you were last night?
Yeah, I suppose so. You guys really think I had something to do with this, huh?
We got to check everybody out, Hoffman. You came up on the list.
Well, that's all it is, huh?
That's all it is.
No, I'll give you the address. You can check there. I'll tell you, I was there till about 3:30 this morning, and then we all went out to get something to eat. I came home about 5 this morning. Went right to bed.
Anybody see you come in?
No, I don't think so. You guys figure it might be an inside job, these burglaries?
Looks like it might be, yeah.
Well, that's the way I've got it figured. From what Gladys tells me, it's almost got to be.
That right?
Sure. Oh, hand me that piece of red plastic, will you?
The what?
That piece of red plastic.
This here?
Yeah, that one. Oh.
Oh, yeah.
Thanks. Oh, sure, it's got to be somebody who knows all about the stores. You know, when to hit the safes, when not to. Where they walk into the places, no marks on the doors, nothing broken.
You seem to know quite a bit about the burglaries.
Well, I heard about them, talked to Gladys. Looks like an inside job to me. Say, officer.
Yeah?
Would you hand me one of those swivels there in the box?
Where? Here?
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Oh, thanks.
Yeah.
Now, clip it on here and hang this thing.
You just hang it up like that?
Yeah. Yeah, finished. Balance is good. Good movement. Doves at sunrise.
That all it does? Just hang there?
Yeah. What do you think of it? Of course, it isn't as good as war recumbent, but it gets the feeling across, don't you think?
Yeah. Sure does. Doves at sunrise, huh?
Yeah. Doves at sunrise.
How about that?
Oh, excuse me.
Yeah, sure.
Joe,
Mr. Hoffman.
Yeah?
Mm-hmm.
you get it?
Who?
What?
Doves at sunrise.
Sergeant Friday.
Yeah.
It's your office.
Oh, thanks, Hoffman. Hello. Oh, yeah, Captain. Mm-hmm. No, we're here now. Yeah. Yeah, well, he seems to. Yeah, who? All right, we'll be right in. All right, we got a call to make. What? Over on Pico? Yeah. Mm-hmm. No, right after that. Yeah, right. Mm-hmm.
Wisdom?
Yeah, he wants to see us.
Yeah?
We'll probably want to talk to you later, Mr. Hoffman. We can reach you at this number, is that right?
Yeah, either here or at the shop. If I'm not at either, Gladys knows where I am.
All right, I wonder if you could give us the address and the phone number of the place where you were last night.
Sure. Yeah. I've got a piece of paper here someplace. You never can find anything when you want it. Yeah. Oh, here we go. You got to go out there, huh? You can't take my word for it.
That isn't the point, Mr. Hoffman. We can't take anybody's word for it. If we don't know it, we got to check it out, see?
Suppose so. Oh, here you are. Ask for Rudy. He's the one who had the exhibition. He'll tell you.
Rudy, is that it?
Yes, that's right. I was with him all evening. He'll tell you.
Okay, thanks, Hoffman.
Oh, say,
Yeah?
I wonder if you could leave me your card and phone number.
Yeah, sure. Here you are.
Thank you. I'd like to give you a call.
Sir?
I'm holding my own show of Mobile. I'd like to have you two guys there.
Yeah. Thank you very much.
You bet. I'll be calling you.
Yeah. Thanks a lot. What'd the captain want?
Well, he's raising the roof. Says he just got a call from the corner pocket there leaning all over him.
Yeah?
Says he's tired of answering questions. Says we better come up with some of the answers for him. 12:58 a.m. Frank and I drove over to check on Alan Hoffman's alibi. We talked to Rudy Nixon. He told us that Hoffman had been with him until around 4:30 that morning. At that time, Nixon had dropped Hoffman off at his apartment. We drove back to the office and ran the name Rudy Nixon through R&I, but we got no make on anyone answering his description. 5:45 p.m. Frank and I reported for stakeout duty. The night went slow, and we came up with nothing. The next morning at 8:16 a.m., we checked back into the office. You know, as soon as we get this thing over with, I'm going to sleep a week.
Oh, man, you got company. I'm going to tell Faye to send the kids out of town, and if anybody calls me, tell them I just left for Hindustan by fast freight.
Well, how'd it go?
Nothing, Skipper. Sat there all night, not a thing.
How about the other guys? Anything from them, Skipper?
No, I just checked with Metro. None of their cars saw anything. The other men out there came in with the same. I'll get it. Burglary, Wisdom. Yes, ma'am. Mm-hmm. Well, what time was that? Right, we'll send a couple of men right out. Here's the address. I hit again.
You are listening to Dragnet, the authentic story of your police force in action.
Chesterfield is best for you. But let us give you the facts, and then you be your own judge.
Chesterfield is the first cigarette to present this scientific evidence on the effects of smoking.
A medical specialist is making regular bi-monthly examinations of a group of people from various walks of life. 45% of this group have smoked Chesterfield for an average of 10 years. After 8 months, the medical specialist reports that he observed no adverse effects on the nose, throat, and sinuses of the group from smoking Chesterfield. I'd say that means real mildness.
And Chesterfield is the first and only premium quality cigarette available in both regular and king size.
So buy 'em either way you like 'em, regular or king size. You'll find premium quality Chesterfields much milder. Yes, Chesterfield is best for you.
Thursday, January 24th, 8:52 a.m. Frank and I drove out to see the latest victim of the burglars. The crew from the crime lab arrived and went over the place. The M.O. was exactly the same as in the previous thefts. The front door had been unlocked, the safe had been opened, the contents taken, and then the safe closed. There was no physical evidence. However, on one point, the thief had varied his method of operation. The latest victim was the owner of a radio and television store. A check of his stock showed us that an expensive record player and a large stock of records were missing. We checked Metro Division, but they told us that none of their cars had reported seeing anyone on the streets carrying anything that fitted the description of the missing merchandise. The serial number of the set was given to us, and a local and an APB was gotten out on it. We talked to Lieutenant Stevens at Metro, and he agreed to double the number of cars cruising in the area that night. 3 more teams of men from burglary were assigned to the stakeout detail. 6:02 p.m. Frank and I checked in for duty. Nothing happened. 2 days passed. Still no new leads. All employees of the stores that were victimized were checked and rechecked. Nothing. Saturday, January 26th. Frank and I were assigned to a toy shop in the middle of the block. We waited. 8 p.m., 9, 10:30 p.m. Nothing.
Oh, boy, I'm stiff.
Yeah.
Joe.
Mm-hmm.
What time you got?
10:46.
Oh. I sure wish I could have a smoke.
Yeah. I wonder if he's going to show. What do you think?
I don't know. It's been a long time.
11 o'clock. We waited. From time to time, we could see the lights of the undercover car go by the front entrance. Midnight. 12:30. Still nothing.
Joe? Want a piece of this candy bar?
No, I'm not hungry.
Sure you don't want some?
No. I don't know. We've been in every store in this block. Past months, I don't think the guy's going to show.
No. It's kind of stale.
Look at that. What's that?
Sounds like moving something.
Sounds like the ventilator, doesn't it?
Hey.
Wait a minute, hold it. Yeah, look, see the ventilator on the far wall?
What? Is it moving?
Yeah, somebody's coming out of there, see? Going for the burglar alarm. See, look at that.
What'd he do?
Snapped off the burglar alarm.
Oh.
He's at the safe.
Yeah.
He's got it open. Come on, let's take it.
All right, mister, hold it right there.
Watch it, Joe. He's going for the ventilator. I see him.
Come on.
You see him?
No. He's up in there somewhere.
All right, come on out of there, mister.
See him?
No, I don't think so.
Come on out of there, you.
There he is, Joe. Gun flash.
Yeah, I see.
All right, come on, mister. Throw that gun out here.
Get out of here, cop. You come back here, I'll kill you.
You got no place to go up there. Now, come on, give it up.
I'm telling you, you come back here, I'll kill you. I will. I'm warning you, I'll kill you. Wait a minute. Wait. Don't shoot anymore. Please, don't shoot anymore, please. I quit, please.
All right, throw that gun out here. Come on.
All right. Here it is. There it is. You got it now. Don't shoot anymore, huh?
All right, come on out of there. Come on out of there.
What do you think?
You gonna come out of there?
All right, we'll have to go in after him. Oh, easy now. Smoky in here. It's kind of a tight squeeze in it. Slippery, too. Looks like he's got some kind of a room up there. Can you see? Okay, here we are. Hey, look at this. He's got himself a room. Yeah. Dug it right out of the earth here.
All right, come on. Come out from behind that crate.
All right.
Get your hands behind your head.
I'm doing like you say. See, I got my hands just like you said. I quit.
I can shake them down.
Yeah. Come on.
Stand still.
Put your hands against the wall. Yeah, he's clean, Joe.
Now, what is all this in here?
Where I live.
All right, we'll take a look.
How about this, Joe? This room must be 20 feet square.
This all the stuff you stolen?
Yeah, most of it.
What's your name?
Warwick. Dan Warwick. Really had you guys going, didn't it?
All right, let's go.
Really had you. Couldn't figure it out. I used to watch you sit in the fence and watch you. Used to laugh how hard you were trying. Really had you going. Couldn't figure it out.
Yeah, sure. Come on, now let's go.
Really had you going. You never would have found me. Could have stayed here for years. Dug this room myself, every bit of it, all by myself. Stayed here when you guys were around, except when I watched you and the others. Couldn't figure out how I knew about the safes. Used to just sit there and watch them. Watch them open the things. Simple once you know how. Really had you going, all of you.
Yeah, you bet you did.
Running around in circles. Real fun.
Yeah, but we knew where we were going.
The story you have just heard was true. The names were changed to protect the innocent.
On May 17th, trial was held in Department 89, Superior Court of the State of California, in and for the County of Los Angeles. In a moment, the results of that trial.
Now, here is our star, Jack Webb.
Thank you, George Fenneman. Friends, it's getting a little closer to Christmas, and there's a man right near you, your neighborhood cigarette dealer, who has a lot of fine gift ideas. Of course, he's featuring the gift of the year, the Chesterfield Christmas carton. It's the ideal gift because Chesterfield is the only premium quality cigarette available to you in both regular and king size. Chesterfield is the one I smoke, and it's the one I'm giving for Christmas. Regular or king size. Premium quality Chesterfields are much milder.
Daniel Robert Warwick was tried and convicted of burglary in the first degree, 5 counts. Said counts to run consecutively. He received his sentence as prescribed by law. Burglary in the first degree is punishable by imprisonment in the state penitentiary for a period of not less than 5 years.
Ladies and gentlemen, in the next 7 years of bigger and bigger enrollments, America's grade schools will need nearly 250,000 extra teachers, besides those to fill normal vacancies. Education holds America's future. Perhaps your future.
A series of authentic cases from official files. Technical advice comes from the Office of Chief of Police W.H. Parker, Los Angeles Police Department. Technical advisors, Captain Jack Donahoe, Sergeant Marty Wynn, Sergeant Vance Brasher. Heard tonight were Ben Alexander, Gwen Delano, Paul Richards. Script by John Robinson. Music by Walter Schumann. Hal Gibney speaking.
Sound off for Chesterfield. Either way you like them, regular or king size, you'll find premium quality Chesterfields much milder.
Chesterfield has brought you Dragnet, transcribed from Los Angeles.
Tonight, more adventure with Barry Craig, confidential investigator, on NBC.
Ladies and gentlemen, the story you are about to hear is true. The names have been changed to protect the innocent. You're a detective sergeant. You're assigned to narcotics detail. You receive information that a big buy of heroin is going to be made in your city. You know the location and the man who's going to sell it. Your job? Stop him. Thousand. Dragnet, the documented drama of an actual crime. For the next 30 minutes, in cooperation with the Los Angeles Police Department, you will travel step by step on the side of the law through an actual case transcribed from official police files. From beginning to end, from crime to punishment, Dragnet is the story of your police force in action.
It was Tuesday, April 8th. It was windy in Los Angeles. We were working the night watch out of narcotics detail. My partner's Frank Smith. The boss is Captain Kearney. My name's Friday. We were on our way to the meet, and it was 9:48 p.m. when we got to the corner of Pico and Clanton, the 617 Club.
Let's sit back there, huh?
Yeah, looks all right.
What time you got, Joe?
9:49, why?
Oh, this watch is giving me trouble.
Yeah?
Guess it's getting old.
You had it clean lately? Maybe that's what it needs.
Yeah, a couple of years ago. Ran real good right after that. Just been lately, like I said.
I think maybe you ought to have it cleaned again. I was reading where they should be cleaned at least once a year. You know that?
Oh, this is getting old, Joe. Had it for almost 23 years. Got it when I graduated from high school.
Sure looks like it's still good, doesn't it?
Yeah.
Yes, sir?
Coffee for me, Frank.
Yeah, please.
2 coffees right away.
Oh. I didn't see him when we came in, did you?
No, we're early. Meet's not supposed to be until 10:30.
What's that?
I know.
The drinker's coffee. Knock it off. Well, first thing you know, you're going to have everybody in the place looking at it.
I don't care. Let him look. I never wanted to do it. I never did.
Okay, you did it. Now, nothing to do about it. Stop falling.
What's going on in the next book? I don't know. I can't see.
Easy for you to say you didn't do it.
You stop falling. You bring a lot of attention over here, revoking this
I
time.
can't help it. Everybody I see, it's a cop. A cop who knows all about it.
But cheap food is done. Every time you get a couple of doses, you start to fall. Knock it off, huh?
Knock it off. Knock it off. If I had to do it over again, it would have been different. I tell you, it would have been different.
What do you think, Joe? Oh, it's although you had too much to drink. I hope they get out of here. I don't want anything to louse up our body here.
Sure, you did, big man. You got no words.
Come on, let's go.
You didn't kill the old lady.
Not so loud.
You didn't kill her.
Because of the high booth walls, we were unable to tell who was doing the talking. As soon as the men got up to leave the place, Frank and I followed them. Frank stopped long enough to call our contact and postpone the narcotics buy. We followed the 2 men from the bar down the street. They walked up to Spring, and then they split up. Frank followed one of them, I tailed the other. He went directly to a hotel on West 6th Street. He stopped and talked with the hotel clerk, and then he took the elevator upstairs. I checked with the clerk, and he told me that the man's name was Sam Allison. The clerk also told me that Allison had been a resident of the hotel off and on for the past 10 years. He went on to say that every so often Allison would pack up and leave, but that he'd always return. He was unable to give me any information as to how Allison made his living or who the other man might be. 12:10 a.m. I called the office. Frank had checked back in. The man he was following had entered an all-night movie, and in the darkness, Frank somehow had lost him. I went back to the office, and we sent a radiogram to Inspector Charlie Sutton up in San Francisco, requesting all information on unsolved murders in the Bay Area in the last few months. We ran the name Sam Allison through R&I, but we got no make on anyone answering his description. 2:15 a.m. We checked out of the office and went home to get some sleep. The following morning, Wednesday, April 9th, 7:58 a.m., I checked back into the office.
That you, Joe?
Yeah.
The message in the book to call operator 18 in San Francisco.
Would you put the call in?
No, I just got in. Figured I'd wait a minute for you to get here.
All right, let's take care of it. The operator 18, San Francisco, please. Joe Friday, Los Angeles Police Department, Michigan 5211. Yeah, that's right. Probably Charlie Sutton, huh?
Yeah.
Yes, ma'am? Oh, Charlie? Joe Friday. Yeah. Uh-huh. When? January 15th, huh? Oh, how'd it happen? Uh-huh. Yeah. Can you talk a little louder, Charlie? Any description? Yeah, I see. Mm-hmm. Where? You sent it right down to us, huh? Okay, fine. Yeah. Okay, Charlie. No, we don't know. No. Yeah, thanks again. Right, bye.
Anything?
Yeah, out at Land's End up in San Francisco. Woman was beaten to death. The San Francisco Police Department said that they'd forward all available information on the killing. From what Inspector Charlie Sutton had said, the victim had been robbed and beaten out in the Land's End area. There had been one witness to the murder, and we told the authorities in the Bay City that we would send them stand-up mugs of our suspect, Sam Allison. 9:37 a.m. Frank and I drove over to the hotel on West 6th. We talked to the desk clerk, and then we went upstairs to Allison's room.
This must be at 305.
Yeah.
I'll try it again.
Yeah? Who is it?
Police officers, we'd like to talk to you.
Just a minute. Yeah?
You Sam Allison?
Yeah, that's right. What's with this?
Like to talk
locked inside.
All right, come on in. Well, what's this all about?
Want to get dressed? I'd like to talk to you downtown.
What for? You got nothing on me.
Just like to talk to you. Come on, get dressed.
Oh, wait a minute, sir. Look, you tell me what it's all about first, huh?
You've been up in San Francisco lately?
What?
Have you?
Yeah, so what?
When?
I don't know, first of the year, I guess. Around there.
You narrow that down a little?
First part of January, I guess.
Where were you last night?
Around.
Where around?
Met a friend, had a couple of drinks, and came home just around.
Who's the friend?
Hey, look, I'm not going to answer any more of your questions till I know what this is all about.
Where are your clothes?
In the closet.
I'll get them.
We're getting real big, aren't we?
You tell us what you want, I'll get them.
That pinstripe. You know, the gray one right in front of you. You know, pinstripe?
That's it?
Yeah. Oh, in that bureau, second drawer, there's some shirts there. Give me one of the blue ones, will you? One with the tab collar and the little round things on it.
This it?
Yeah.
Here you go.
Thanks. Thanks a lot. Hey, when you guys figure out, let me know what this is all about.
What do you do for a living, Alice?
Oh, this and that.
All right, what's that mean?
I work with horses.
You a trainer, that is?
No, not exactly.
A tout?
No. Say, in that top drawer, there's a little velvet box. Got a collar bar in there. Would you get it for me, huh?
Here?
Yeah.
This the box?
That's right. The gold one.
Yeah. Know what you want?
Yeah, thanks.
Just what do you do with horses?
Well, I got a lot of friends with money. They like to buy horses, so I go out to the track and look them over. If I think it's a good deal, I claim them.
You make much on the deal?
Depends on how the horses work out. If they make money, so do I. If they don't do any good, then it's tough all around. Yeah, I'll get my shoes.
Wait a minute. Which ones do you want?
The black ones. It's the only pair.
Who were you drinking with last night, Allison?
Like I told you, a friend.
What's his name?
Look, I told you I wasn't going to say anything like find out what this is all about.
All right, Allison, I'm going to lay this out for you. We were in a bar last night, place down in Clanton. You there?
Clanton? Oh, you mean the 617 Club?
That's right.
Yeah, I was there. So what?
We were in the booth next to you. Heard you talk about killing a woman in San Francisco.
You're wrong about that.
Yeah, sure we are. Let's go downtown.
No, I mean it. I don't know what you're talking about. Oh, sure, I was in the bar last night, but I don't know anything about killing an old broad up north.
Who said she was old?
Well, you just did.
No, he didn't. Said a woman had been killed. He didn't say anything about her age.
Well, from the way you said it, I figured she was old.
No, that won't work, Allison.
Look, you got no reason to think that I did that. No, you got no reason to think that.
You admit you were up north about the time it happened. You were in the bar last night talking about it. Now, you seem to know quite a bit about the whole thing for somebody who wasn't involved.
Well, maybe I just heard about it, you know.
Where'd you hear about it?
Oh, around. Well, I don't know where, but I heard about it. Maybe that's what happened. But you guys know it wasn't me. You know that, don't you?
Who were you with last night?
He the one that did it? Is that it?
I don't know. I don't know if he did it or not. I don't know anything about it. All I know is I wasn't mixed up in it. And I didn't have anything to do with it.
Who's Jack Kenton?
Kenton? I don't know any Kenton.
Well, he knows you according to this postcard in your drawer over here.
Is that right?
Yeah, that's right. Sam, I'll be in town Monday night. Meet you at your hotel at signed Jack. This is the return address here, San Diego. Now, who is he?
Oh, yeah, Kenton. I forgot for a minute.
Well, maybe you forgot that he was with you in that bar last night, too, huh?
Well, what happens to me if I do remember? You going to find out?
I don't think so.
Was he the man you were with last night?
I don't want him to find out. I got big trouble if he does.
Is that right?
Yeah, he's the guy, but don't tell him I said so, will you? You won't tell him, huh? No, Jack would come after me if he knew. He's really off his rocker.
He is, huh?
Yeah, and he'd kill me if he knew. You guys are going to have trouble taking him, you know that, huh?
We are, huh?
Yeah, he's fallen a couple of times before, done big time up at Q. Told me 100 times before. At least 100 times.
Yeah, what's that?
He killed the first cop that came after him.
11:17 a.m. Frank and I took Sam Allison down to the city hall. He was fingerprinted and mug shots were taken. A pair of stand-up mugs were sent to San Francisco immediately. We contacted the San Diego Police Department and asked them to put a stake out on the address that was on the postcard we found in Allison's room. In the event this Jack Kenton returned, they were to pick him up and call us. While we talked to them, they ran the name through their files and found that he had a minor record in San Diego dating back some 15 years. A check of our file showed that he'd served time in San Quentin for armed robbery and ADW while trying to commit a robbery. We got out a local and an APB on him. We talked to Allison. He told us that as far as he knew, Kenton was planning to return to San Diego on the preceding night. He couldn't give us any information as to where Kenton had stayed while he was in Los Angeles. 2 p.m. We got a call from San Diego that they'd picked up Jack Kenton. 2:30 p.m. Frank and I checked out a trip car and left for San Diego. We checked in with Lieutenant Mort Gear when we got there. and he told us that Kenton had been seen returning to his home right after we'd contacted them. We drove out to his place and searched it, but we found nothing to tie him in with a murder in San Francisco. 8:30 p.m. We left San Diego and returned to Los Angeles. On the return trip, Kenton was sullen and refused to answer any questions. We took him to the city hall. 1:15 a.m.
Oh, lousy deal. You guys are trying to tie a bum rap on me, and you know it.
Do we?
Sure.
You ever do any big time, Kenton?
No.
Ever been in jail, huh?
No.
That's not what our record says.
Maybe a couple of tickets for traffic stuff.
Book says you served time at Q. How about that?
A couple of years, yeah.
Don't you figure that is big time?
Yeah, I suppose so.
Then why didn't you tell us about it?
Forgot.
You been in San Francisco lately?
No.
You sure?
I'm sure.
We got a rumble that you were up there around the first of the year.
That right?
Yeah.
Well, you tell your pigeon that he's not even a fruitcake if he says I was up in Frisco.
A couple other people who say you're up there, too.
Yeah, who?
A couple of people.
Well, they're offering that, too, if they say that.
The officers say so, too.
How do you figure that?
They got an ident on your picture.
I was never picked up in Frisco. They got no picture of me.
We got a few.
So I done time out L.A.
Yeah, you did. When we get a mug, we ship a copy up north. They do the same.
That right?
That's right.
So maybe I'll be big about all this. Admit I was in Frisco around the first of the year. What's that proof?
What'd you do while you were up there?
Moved around. Went up for vacation.
What do you do for a living?
A little of everything.
What's that include?
Like I said, a little of everything.
What'd you tell the parole board?
I tell them I'm a contractor.
What do you build?
Whatever needs building. I'm versatile.
You're pretty smart, too, aren't you?
Look, I know my rights. I know that you know that I'm an ex-con. You know it as well as I do. But there ain't no PV tab on my card. I don't go around the corner without telling the board. You got nothing on me for that.
They know you in San Francisco?
Yeah, like I said, it was for a vacation.
Where'd you live up there?
Well, hotel down on Geary.
How long were you there?
Maybe 3 weeks, month. Got a cigarette?
Yeah. Here.
Thanks. Thanks. What's this all about, anyway? What's the pitch with was I in Frisco?
You remember where you were last night?
Yeah, I was up here. I came up to see your friend.
Who's the friend?
I don't remember.
Where'd you see this friend?
Bar. Had a couple of drinks, and I went to a movie.
What bar?
I don't remember. Someplace downtown.
Over on Clanton, maybe?
Yeah, it could be. Like I said, I don't remember.
We figure it was the 617 Club on Clanton.
You know more than I do.
You were there with Sam Allison, isn't that right?
Allison? Don't think I know anybody by that name.
He says he knows you.
Allison? No, I don't think I know anybody.
All right, now let's come off it, Kenton. We know you were there. We were in the booth right next to you. We heard you talk about killing the woman in San Francisco. We heard every word you said.
Well, you must have been listening to somebody else. You got the wrong pitch all the way around. I wasn't there last night. I don't know any Sam Allison. I didn't kill anyone in San Francisco or any place else.
Bartender down there says he knows you. Says you were in the place last night. We saw you there ourselves.
You know, you guys ought to lay off that cheap booze. It's beginning to hit your eyes.
We got another witness that says you were there. You're willing to swear to it.
All right, so maybe I was. What's that for?
Why'd you lie about it?
I didn't lie. I just forgot.
Maybe you forgot about San Francisco, too. Is that it?
No, I didn't forget about it.
You said you spent your time up north in the bar. Which bar?
Cookies.
Where's that?
On Kearney.
You got any way to prove you were there? This Cookies?
Sure. Talk to Cookie himself. He'll tell you.
What's his last name?
I don't know.
You spend all this time with him, you don't know his last name.
Cookie, just plain Cookie. That's all you need to know to get a drink.
He ever done any time?
Not Cookie. He'll do almost anything to make a buck as long as he doesn't have to work for it. But he's never fallen that I know about. He's too busy watering the booze he sells.
You ever get down there Fisherman's Wharf up there?
Nope. Never left downtown.
And you couldn't have been down there on January 12th, now could you?
How do I know where I was on the 12th? I said I wasn't near the wharf. That means on the 12th, 13th, 14th, as far as you want to go. I don't know how else to say it. I wasn't down on Fisherman's Wharf. That where this woman got it?
Might have been, yeah. Doesn't make any difference, though. You didn't leave downtown, did you?
No, never left downtown. Geary Street for the hotel, Kearney Street for Cookies, that's all.
How about Land's End? Ever get out there?
Maybe if I write it out, maybe then you'll get what I'm trying to say. I was always downtown. I never left it. I didn't go to Land's End. I didn't go to Fisherman's Wharf. I didn't go to the tea gardens in the park. I never left downtown.
You're sure about that?
I've told you every way I know how. That's all I can do.
Yeah, well, there's something that doesn't jive here, Kenton.
What's that?
We got a call from San Francisco. They got a girl up there who was out on Land's End on January 15th. She says that she'll identify you as the man who killed the woman that night. She says she's positive.
Oh, that's why all this bit about was I someplace on January 12th, huh?
Yeah, that's right.
Playing it real cozy, aren't you? Well, it won't work, cop. Thanks, but no thanks. I'm having none of it. Now, you guys go and try to figure some other way. You got nothing on me, nothing, and you know it. Now, if you're tired of playing games, either give me my walking papers or book me. I'm tired. I want to go to sleep.
The girl will be here in the morning, Kenton.
That's swell. I got to get my sleep then. I want to look real nice for her.
All right. Let's go.
You know, cop, that's one nice thing about the laws in this state.
Yeah?
I don't have to do a thing. Just sit and watch. You got to prove it. Any way you slice it, you got to do the work. I don't have to do a thing.
Yeah, that's right, Kenton. There's only one little difference.
Yeah?
We make you, and you got to do the time. Kenton down and had some stand-up mugs made of him and sent to San Francisco. Kenton was booked at the main jail on suspicion of murder. 5:26 a.m. Frank and I checked out of the office and we went home. The next day at 1:30 p.m., we met with Captain Lorman of Homicide Division and talked over the developments with him. Together, we worked out a plan that we thought might work in getting Allison to admit to the murder. 4:15 p.m., we had Kenton brought from his cell in the main jail to the interrogation room at the City Hall. We talked to him for 2 hours. He'd admit nothing.
Well, where's your witness? About time she got here, isn't it?
She'll be here.
We should get this thing over with. I'm getting a little sick of playing ring around the rosy with you boys. Maybe you haven't got anything else to do, but I have.
All right, what's so important, Kenton?
Got a heavy date down San Diego tonight. This is Friday, isn't it?
That's right.
Real doll. Been trying to date with her for a couple of weeks. Finally made it. You guys think I'll be out of here by 6?
Depends on what the witness says.
How about a cigarette, huh?
Yeah. Here you are.
I got a match. Cops find anything in my house?
What do you mean?
When they went through it. Look, I've been through this before. I know the bit as well as you guys do. Fellow falls once, does some time. You cops never leave him alone.
You drink much, Kenton?
Hmm?
You drink much?
Yeah, I have a highball once in a while. What's the matter? Something wrong with that? You guys going to give me a lecture on the evils of alcohol?
No, I'm just trying to figure out what kind of a guy you are when you're loaded.
Well, I'm a doll. Living doll. Put on lampshades, tell funny stories. Life of the party, that's me.
You ever have a crying jag when you've been drinking?
Nope.
Sure about that?
Yeah.
The way we got it says you get a couple of belts and you start to bawl. Now, how about that?
Whoever told you that's lying.
Seems pretty sure about it, this fellow.
You seem to have a lot of information from this fellow of yours. Who is the guy?
Friend of ours.
Yeah? He sure isn't a friend of mine. Got an idea who it is. Sounds a lot like my friend Sam.
That's so.
Yeah, old Sam, the working man's friend.
Rumble we got says you were with him the night before last, is that right?
Oh, yeah. This is the night you guys were in the next booth and heard all the stuff about me killing the old broad. What's this bit about a rumble? You know it and I do. You picked up Sam. He talked his mouth out to save his own skin. You guys are about as coy as a bulldozer. Why don't you come off it? You're not working with an amateur. I've been around for a long time. I know the angles. You guys got nothing on me. You got nothing because I'm clean. Just want to be big men. Got nothing else to do, so you decided to kill a little time by leaning on somebody. I happen to be around. I got a record, so I fit your program real pretty. Well, get off my back. I've had it. Now, either book me on suspicion and I'll sue you for every last dime you got, or let me go. I got a date I want to keep.
That's a nice try, Kenton. It won't work.
What do you mean?
All right, I'll lay out a few things for you. A woman was killed in San Francisco on January 15th. You were in town that day. You got a record for robbery and assault. Woman was robbed and then killed. You got blind one night and you talked all about it. You had a real crying jag, and you got worried. You talked about how everybody you saw looked like a cop. They all looked like they knew what you'd done, and they were moving to nail you for it. You got a real bad case of the bull horror. We got a friend of yours who says you could have been the guy. We got an identification from a girl who says you killed that old woman. She's on her way down here now. As soon as she sees you and makes it positive, you had it, mister. Now, that's where you're sick.
You talk real convincing. Makes it sound like you really got something on me.
We have, Kenton, and you know it. Let's check and see if that girl's here.
Yeah, well. Got a cigarette?
Yeah, here. matter, Kenton? You figure maybe we aren't giving you a snow job?
No, I know where I stand. I'm just getting a little worried that maybe this girl might make a mistake. Could happen, you know. It's happened before.
Yeah, right.
Sure, lots of times. You know, if somebody watches a thing like this, they aren't sure what they've really seen. Some college back east proved it.
That's so.
They had a deal with one of the students pretending he was going to knock off the teacher. After he'd done it, all the kids gave a different story of what happened. It happens all the time.
Yeah. Well, if you didn't do it, then you got nothing to worry about, have you?
No, I suppose not. She says she saw the guy, huh?
Yeah, that's right.
Came all the way down here to look at me, huh?
Yeah.
You figure she's here yet?
Should be. The plane landed an hour ago.
Mm-hmm. You say she identified my picture? She said I was the guy?
I didn't hear it. Just come in there.
That's him. That's the man. He killed her. I saw it. I'd never forget him. That's the man.
She's crazy. She's wrong. You know that, don't you? She's wrong.
Let him touch me. The man's a murderer. He killed the old woman. I saw him. Beat him to death. I saw him do it.
All right, lady. Okay,
Yeah.
fine.
All right, Miss Carter. You want to step outside?
Oh, yes, please. I want to get away from him. I don't ever want to have to look at him again.
How about it?
I didn't see her. I didn't know anybody was around. I didn't mean to kill the old woman. I didn't. You know that, don't you?
Yeah, sure.
She wouldn't give me her purse. I followed her from downtown all the way out on the streetcar. Got out and followed her. Right by Sutro's, by the Cliff House. And I tried to take the money. She wouldn't give it to me. Only about $30. Why didn't she give it to me? $30, it wasn't worth it to her. For $30. It'd been all right if that girl hadn't seen. I looked, tried to make sure nobody saw her. I didn't see her. I did.
You want to stay with him, Frank, while I get the stenographer?
Yeah, Joe, go ahead.
Okay.
Did it work, Sergeant?
Yeah, it worked fine.
Funny, I was scared stiff when I went in. Wasn't sure I could carry it off.
No, it worked fine. He copped out, admitted everything.
Well, if there's nothing else, I'll go on back to work.
Thanks, Della. Look, will you tell Cunningham that I'll give him a ring, will you?
Yeah. Say, Sergeant,
Yeah.
thanks for letting me help. You know, filing taxes and R&I gets a little dull now and then.
The story you have just heard was true. The names were changed to protect the innocent. On August 17th, trial was held in Department 89, Superior Court of the State of California, in and for the County of Los Angeles. In a moment, the results of that trial. Jack Gerald Kenton was tried and found guilty of murder in the first degree. He is now serving a life sentence in the state penitentiary, San Quentin, California.